Hello and welcome to my new video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lex and this is my Animal Crossing island, Xenia. Welcome if you're new here. I am super pumped about today. We are working on my entrance. All that I know going into this is that I want my home to be at the entrance. That's literally it. So it should be fun today. Should be fun. I wanted to go ahead and shout out all my members as well. Thank you all so much for your ongoing support. I really appreciate you. I'm so happy that you're here. And yeah, if you want to become a member, the link is in the description. So like I said, for this build, I didn't really have a concept. I'm trying to connect resident services to the airport. I was actually kind of lucky. My airport is pretty far from resident services, but honestly, I'm just gonna link them. Usually I would do some wicked terraforming between the two, but since I want my house there, I'm kind of limited in what I can do terraforming wise. But I hope you like it. This is kind of a longer speed build because it took like 3 hours to figure this out. It wasn't even like the building itself. It was me trying to figure out how to connect little pieces of the build together and how to like fill space. It took a lot of brain power, and there were like several segments that I cut out that it was just like 5 minutes of me pondering, just sitting there staring at something. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. I forgot to mention, but my entrance is probably the messiest part of my island, so this beginning is just gonna be me walking around, cleaning everything up. I'm saving the regular hardwood trees because I'm gonna use them in the build, but I'm shaking down the cherries and just chopping down cherry trees because they don't really have a place on my island at the moment. Also wanted to mention that I am not throwing these flowers away. They were a gift from some of my Discord members, so I'm keeping them. I've been like gradually chipping away at the flower farm I have as I go through the build, so I'm saving these on one of the beaches. That way, if I need any of the specific colors, I have them and I don't have to worry about negotiating on Nookazon. Also, Sprocket came up to me and gave me a reaction. I was so pleased. I love the shocked reaction. I just think it's so much fun to spam. I decided to get a picture for a before and after, so I came up to the entrance of the island once it was clean and went ahead and took a picture so that I could compare it once I am finished with this build. I hope that it's a good one. If you couldn't already tell, I'm trying to go for a very symmetrical aesthetic up at the like resident services area where you exit at your dream. I definitely want it to be a lot of symmetry, a lot of flowers I have in my plans. That is another thing that I kind of did plan ahead. I knew I wanted to have the exit from resident services be kind of dramatic in a symmetrical way. Does that even dramatic in a symmetrical way? I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm mostly gonna be just laying down path for a bit, so I'm gonna skip ahead to like near the path being done because I feel like that's a tedious thing to watch. But if you feel strongly about being able to see the pathing being laid down, just leave a comment and I'll leave it in next time. I was trying to find a crate design that I thought would work in this build, but the only ones I had were related to a Nook's Cranny into my strawberry cafe, so I actually did some code digging while I was doing the build. You can check the description to see updated codes. If all the ones from this build aren't there yet, just be patient. I'll be adding them throughout the week, most likely. Or maybe they'll already be up because I couldn't sleep tonight. Anyway, I just laid out the base for my house. That's what the dark path I just laid down was. I'm outlining where I'm going to place my house so that I can visualize that before I actually place it. I find that doing that is super helpful, so if you don't already, I recommend trying it. Having the outline instead of actually moving the building can, you know, prevent a lot of moving errors. At this point, I was like, wow, what should I do with the space to the right? Because obviously my house is going to be on the left, but I don't want to have two resident houses. So I was like, how do I make it look cute if it's not perfect symmetry? And I decided to make a little cafe sort of thing outside the airport. Like, imagine it's just a little cafe to greet visitors, kind of like how airports have cafes right at the entrance. I feel like I said the same thing about my strawberry cafe, but this one's like even closer to the airport. We are trying to be very welcoming here on Xenia. It took me ages to calculate how many items I would need in this area and then to find them and also to gather all of the flowers I needed. And even after all that work that I did, I still miscalculated how many simple panels I would need. So instead of going through the trouble of ordering 2 more, which is how many I left out, I just decide to kind of wing it. At the top, I'll end up putting some cypress plants. I ordered them, so I have to wait till I time travel, which I will do in this video, but yeah, so I'm just gonna put cypress plants at the top on either side of the 3 simple panels that I did remember to get. You'll see what I mean. Completely unrelated to the build I'm actually doing, I decided to go ahead and shape the path from resident services to my previous build, the shopping district. I just wanted to frame resident services with the terracotta path just like I have it in front of the strawberry cafe. So that's what I'm doing here, just layering it with the clover border. Again, if you want any of the design codes that I'm using, they'll be at a link in the description. I spontaneously decided that this build didn't have enough terraforming, that is to say almost none, so I decided to go through and add some waterscaping. I'm going to end up adding not one, but 2 cliffs in the area that I actually really end up liking. I think they look pretty cute here right near the entrance and resident services. So you can see me here going ahead and shaping that water. I do want to have a waterfall, so I was trying to lead it out further, or not further, far enough that it would reach the cliff that I wanted to build. I still have to do some editing, but I think it turns out pretty. You might have already noticed, but I did add as much blue as possible in this build. I went with almost all blue flowers. I did like mix it up with some white as well, but I don't really use blue that often, despite it being my favorite color. So I wanted to make the entrance have little pops of blue, and I thought that was a nice relaxing entry for, you know, dream visitors when I eventually publish the dream address. This build took so long that I actually had to stop halfway through, so that's why it looks very different, like it's a different day now, because I ended up having to time travel, because by the time I got back from picking Peaches up from school, it was like super dark and rainy on my island, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead, skip to the next day. That way I had like my house and everything, the bushes were growing. It was just cool to be able to see all of that, so I wasn't pressed about having to skip forward a bit. At last, you must be thinking, she places the cypress plants that she mentioned many minutes ago. You're absolutely not going to believe this, but I decided that I wanted water over by my house too. I am a sucker for water terraforming, so I'm shaping this cliff now with that in mind, knowing that I do want to add some water features, and I want to have a waterfall and maybe like a half island. I don't know how to describe it. I realized that with a lot of my terraforming lately, I haven't been adding much furniture to the cliffs. I've mostly just used shrubs and flowers, so I wanted to make a point of using different furniture items on the cliffs today. I don't have that many furniture items, and I really didn't feel, again, like nookazoning them, but I did scrounge up some nice DIYs and things that I had, so you know, we get this little lantern on a log stool. I just think those are such nice touches, especially illuminated items on cliffs. Love it. Honestly, the end of this build, when I was just trying to add in, you know, final decorative elements, kind of filling in whatever space was left, it actually really had me stumped. A lot of you have asked, like, how I stay inspired, how I come up with my ideas, and the truth is that I literally go into most of my builds having no idea where they're gonna go, what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna make it work, and this is my process, you know, I just end up kind of brainstorming as I go along. That's not true for every build. I do have the quote-unquote Lex method that I've mentioned in a previous video, where I do go through and like at least figure out where I want things on my map, but for this island I really was just like, let's wing it, it'll be fine. And it kind of is fine, so I guess I was right. I had literally so much trouble with this with this signpost because I decided that I wanted a custom design on under it, and so then I had to redo exactly what I just did, like placing it and then moving things to fix it. It felt really fast for you probably, but you're not me. I had literally no idea what to do for the right side since I couldn't really do water terraforming since it's right beside the like little garden island that I made. So I ended up doing a checkerboard pattern with white hyacinths and blue ones with a little campsite in the middle. And I thought it was precious. I don't have enough blue hyacinths right now. I did my best to get more, but in the end I still didn't have enough. So I'm just gonna wait for the ones I have to breed. It'll be fine. It'll be great. And we're done! We are done for the day. I am both relieved and just really happy with how this build came out. Like, look how cute this is! You come in and it's such a cozy, like, small town aesthetic here at the entrance. I'm taking a picture for my like before and after thing. But yeah, look how precious this is. I actually really love especially how this area on the right came out. Like, look at that. What a cute little space. I'm just shocked. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I was just really starting to doubt myself at the beginning of this build when I didn't have a plan, so the fact that it has turned into something that I like, crazy. Crazy. I do hope that you enjoyed this build. I especially loved this view right here. I just said that I especially love the other side. I just like this build. We'll see how I feel about it by the time this posts. I'm saying this Wednesday night, so Thursday morning for me is when the video will post. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how I'm feeling about it then. But right now, I'm so happy that you're here. Please remember to take care of yourself today. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!